performed on Twitter, what they said about elections. And so let's now get straight to Odanga. And, well, Odanga, if you can hear me, good evening. The first question I would like to pose to you is, how do you think we performed online, that is on Twitter, on all the digital platforms that we have across the country? How would you rate our performance online?
Hi, Joy. So I think I would rate our performance as very high with regard to, as at right now, around 200,000 tweets from Kenyans, from around almost the same number of 200 people. That's just on election day. And one thing, especially towards the elections, is that a lot of Kenyans were tweeting in a euphoric manner in support of their candidates. So you have terms such as Kenyan and Tano Fresh, Nane Nane, use a lot of Kenyans to rally up support amongst their supporters. So definitely something we saw.
All right, and when you think about, the responses on the presidential candidates, what do the trends look like from your perspective? You have done reports about how we have tweeted and how we have posted on Facebook as well. Tell us about those.
So one of the things we noticed about how Kenyans were tweeting on the day is that a large amount of those conversations were being driven by media, actually. So whenever people saw, or rather when Raila went to cast his vote, or when Uhuru went to cast his vote, that led to a spike in conversation. When IBC went ahead and said that 40% turnout has been confirmed, that led to a spike in conversation. So a whole lot of it has been influenced by media coverage.
All right, and some people actually say that the biggest challenge that we have faced online is misinformation from various sources, doing it for the likes and for the retweets and, the favorites. But what do you have to say about this? Do you think that you have also seen the same trends while you were coming up with your reports?
Just come again?
There has been a bigger challenge, and one of the challenges has been misinformation online and fake news. Would you agree that this has actually also been a challenge for you, who has been doing reports on data, on how we've been performing online?
Yes, so fake news has been a big deal within the past 3 months, especially since the campaign period began. And just to make things short, on the day of the election itself, was a lot of people spreading rumors about violence, about results. And one of the things we noticed is that as at right now, over the past months, we've collected over 40,000 links to the misinformation. So definitely it's something that Kenyans really need to arm themselves and protect themselves against.
All right, I'm just going to keep you there, and we're going to listen in to some of the views coming in from outside of the country and what people out there are saying about the Kenyan elections. And we'll be back to continue the conversation. If you could just hang on for a bit, Odanga.
Well, I don't think it's only during elections, but generally some bloggers will spread false or unsubstantiated information knowingly just for the clicks, but then sometimes they do it without knowing that the information they're spreading is inaccurate. So the thing is, election periods involve higher stakes, so candidates are bound to get bloggers to spread wrong information about other candidates during such times. And spreading misinformation is not new. It's just that with social media, there is more of it, and it spreads much faster than before.
All right, so that's a journalist from Uganda who says that online, news spreads so fast, and most of it could be fake news that spreads so fast. But, when you look at the trends, what could we have done better online, Odanga?
I think what could have done better, especially when it comes to media houses, is verification of information before it goes out. So we've had a lot of cases of especially international media houses, going ahead and reporting on cases before verifying them, and that tends to fuel a certain kind of narrative and really tends to, fire up emotions amongst supporters of both sides. So that, I think, is something that definitely we need to improve on, especially during a sensitive time like this.
All right. When you look at this image right here on our screens, one is able to actually take a look at the fact that we voted, or how we tweeted on voting day, tells quite a bit. We were most active, I think, on voting day, according to this report that you did about tweeting democracy. And it talks about the polling stations, how people tweeted while at the polling stations, what they said about Raila and Uhuru casting their votes, and then the IEBC announcing only a 40% turnout by then. That was, I think, by about 3 p.m., or was it between midday and 3 p.m. And we also see, the results starting to trickle in between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m., according to the reports, or at least what people were saying online. We're also seeing the IEBC uploading the first presidential results, I think, between 8 p.m. Do we say? I think, yes, it was between 8 p.m. and going forward. And then we also see the IEBC refreshing results. So tell us about these trends. Were these being tweeted by the IEBC profile, or were they Kenyans who are actually sharing this information?
Just come again on the second part.
Was it the IEBC tweeting this information, or was it Kenyans relaying information that they were so sure of?
So this was actually Kenyans relaying information. They were not necessarily so sure, but they were pretty sure at the time. So basically, this is sort of people commentating on the results as they come in and saying this person is leading, this person is not leading, this person is winning, or this person is not.
All right. Odanga, I'm just going to still ask you to hold a bit. We'd like to cross over to Uganda, where Solomon Siranja is on standby, just to tell us exactly how